Sean Diddy Combs' life behind bars is coming to light. The rapper wears a gray pullover and sweatpants as he walks down a corridor. With his graying hair and goatee in full view, Combs appears to smile at a fellow inmate standing off camera.
The King of New York has finally been spotted inside, and the footage is not what anyone expected. Instead of a broken man, viral clips show Diddy smiling, hugging inmates, and looking like he is running a luxury resort in the prison yard. Is his fortune buying him special privileges while serving hard time? We are diving deep into the leaked tapes to reveal the shocking truth about his life behind bars. The video that fooled the internet. You are not going to believe what just hit the internet. Imagine scrolling through your phone late at night. You stop on a video that looks impossible. There he is, Sean Diddy Combs, the man who invented the white party, the man who has a net worth of hundreds of millions. But he is not on a yacht in St. Bart's. He is in a prison yard. And the crazy part? He looks happy. In the video, Diddy is smiling. He is wearing a gray prison uniform, but he rocks it like it is a designer suit. He is dapping up other inmates. He is hugging guys like they are his long-lost brothers. The sun is shining. It looks like he is running the place. The watermark in the corner says TMZ, which is the stamp of truth for celebrity news. The internet exploded immediately. The comments were going crazy. People said, "Look at him. He bought the prison." Others said, "Money buys comfort, even behind bars." It fit the story we all wanted to believe. We wanted to believe that a man this powerful could not be broken. We wanted to believe he was living like a king while serving his time. But I have to stop you right there, because that video, the one with the smiles and the hugs, it is a lie. It was a deep fake. It was created by artificial intelligence. It was a digital ghost designed to trick you. His representative, Judah Engelmeyer, had to come out and tell the world, these images are not real. He said Diddy is not hugging inmates in the yard. He is not having a good time. So, if that video is fake, what is the truth? What does Diddy really look like right now? Well, the real footage finally came out, and it is terrifyingly boring. In the real video, obtained by TMZ, Diddy is not the King of New York. He is just an old man in a brown knit cap. He has a big gray beard that he hasn't trimmed. He is walking through a room that looks like a high school classroom. He is pushing a cart. He isn't handing out money, he is handing out books. He looks tired. He looks small. In another clip, he is walking down a hallway pushing a television on a roller stand. He looks like a janitor. This is the cold, hard reality. The party is over. The lights are out. And to understand how he went from the Met Gala to pushing a TV cart in New Jersey, we have to go back to the beginning of the end. The raid that shook the world. Do you remember March 25th, 2024? If you were anywhere near Star Island in Miami or Holmby Hills in Los Angeles, you saw a scene straight out of an action movie. But this wasn't a movie. This was Homeland Security. Dozens of agents in tactical gear swarmed Diddy's mansions. They had battering rams. They had assault rifles. Helicopters were circling overhead, filming everything. They didn't knock nicely. They breached the doors. They were looking for evidence of a massive criminal enterprise. And what they found inside those houses changed the conversation forever. They found guns. Specifically, they found 3 AR-15 rifles. The serial numbers were defaced, which is a serious crime on its own. But the guns were not the headline. The headline was the supplies. Agents carried out box after box of evidence. And inside those boxes, they found something that confused everyone at first: baby oil. They found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The internet made jokes. People laughed, but the federal prosecutors were not laughing. They explained that these bottles were the fuel for what they called freak-offs. These were elaborate, produced sex performances that Diddy allegedly orchestrated. Prosecutors said these sessions would last for days. They said the victims would be so exhausted from the marathon sex and the drugs that they needed IV fluids just to recover. His lawyer tried to spin it. He told TMZ, "I don't know where the number 1,000 came from. Maybe he buys in bulk at Costco. But nobody buys 1,000 bottles of anything at Costco unless they are running a store or a very dark operation." The arrest at the Park Hyatt Fast. Forward to September 16, 2024. Diddy was in New York City. He was staying at the Park Hyatt Hotel. It is a fancy place. He was probably thinking he could beat this. He has beaten charges before. He has money. He has the best lawyers. But the feds were done playing games. They walked into the hotel lobby and put him in handcuffs. The charges were heavy: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution. They were saying Bad Boy Records wasn't just a music label. They were saying it was a criminal organization, just like the mafia. Diddy tried everything to stay out of jail. He went to the judge and offered a $50 million bond. $50 million. He offered to put up his mother's house as collateral. He said he would hire a private security team to watch him 24 hours a day. He basically offered to build his own private prison in his mansion. But the judge said no. The prosecutors argued that Diddy was dangerous. They said he had a history of obstructing justice. They said he might intimidate witnesses. They talked about the freak-offs and the violence. The judge looked at the billionaire and decided he could not be trusted on the outside. So, they sent him to a place that makes Rikers Island look like a playground. Inside MDC, Brooklyn. They sent him to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. We call it MDC. Lawyers call it hell on earth. This is a concrete fortress in Sunset Park. It houses about 1,200 inmates, and the conditions inside are the stuff of nightmares. Let me tell you about the history of this place so you understand what Diddy faced. In the winter of 2019, there was a polar vortex in New York. The temperatures dropped to 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and the power at MDC went out. For a week, the inmates were stuck in dark, freezing cells. They had no heat. They had no light. They were wrapping themselves in thin towels to stop from freezing to death. People on the street could see the inmates banging on the narrow windows, screaming for help. And it's not just the cold, it's the filth. Inmates have reported finding maggots in their food. We are talking about bugs crawling in the cafeteria meals. And then there is the violence. Just months before Diddy arrived, in the summer of 2024, the jail was a war zone. 2 men were stabbed to death. One inmate, Uriel White, was stabbed in the neck. Another man, Edwin Cordero, died after a fight. It was so bad that 9 people were charged with murder or assault in a single summer. Judges hate this place. One judge actually let a 75-year-old tax fraudster go home on house arrest just so he wouldn't have to go to MDC. He said sending him there would be inhumane. But for Diddy, the judge sent him right into the belly of the beast, the special housing unit. When Diddy got there, he didn't go to general population. He is too famous. He would be a target. So they put him in the SHU, the special housing unit. This is isolation. Imagine a room the size of a parking spot. That is your whole world. You spend 23 hours a day in that box. You eat in that box. You sleep in that box. You use the toilet in that box. He had no roommate. The silence is heavy. When you are that famous, you are used to people talking to you all day. Assistants, drivers, chefs, fans. In the SHU, there is nobody. Just the sound of keys and the yelling of other inmates down the hall. And because it was his first week, they put him on suicide watch. This is standard for high-profile guys facing life in prison, but it is humiliating. They take your clothes, they give you a tear-away paper gown. It feels like sandpaper. They take your shoes and give you rubber slides. They take your sheets so you can't make a rope. Diddy's lawyer was furious. He told the press, "Mr. Combs is not suicidal." He said Diddy was strong. But for those first nights, the mogul was sleeping on a thin mattress in a paper dress, watched by a guard every minute. And if he had to leave his cell, it wasn't a walk in the park. He was put on a tether. That means leg irons on his ankles, handcuffs on his wrists, a chain around his belly connecting them all. He had to shuffle down the hallway surrounded by guards. The food. Now, let's talk about the food. This is the part that reportedly broke him. On the outside, Diddy ate the best food in the world. Personal chefs, steak, lobster, pasta in Italy. In MDC Brooklyn, the menu is terrifying. Let's look at his breakfast. It is served at 6 a.m. He gets a scoop of bran flakes. He gets a piece of fruit, usually an apple or an orange. And he gets something called breakfast cake. It sounds nice, but inmates say it is a dry, tasteless muffin that sticks to the roof of your mouth. And here is the kicker. No coffee. In federal prison, coffee is a luxury. You only get it on the weekends. So, Monday through Friday, Diddy is waking up in a cold cell with a caffeine headache and a bowl of dry cereal. Lunch is at 11 a.m. It might be a Southwest chicken wrap or a cheese pizza that tastes like cardboard, or maybe a hamburger that has been boiled, not grilled. The sides are gray green beans and mushy rice. Dinner is at 4 p.m. This is early. You eat, and then you are hungry again by 8 p.m. The menu features roast beef with gravy, but don't imagine a Sunday roast. Imagine processed meat swimming in brown sauce, Or chicken fajitas that are mostly peppers and onions. Diddy hates the food. His lawyer told reporters it was the roughest part of his adjustment. He despises it. Imagine going from Nobu to eating mystery meat on a plastic tray. He even spent his 55th birthday inside. On the outside, a Diddy birthday is a national holiday. Fireworks, vodka, celebrities. Inside, he got the standard menu, oatmeal, biscuits, turkey roast. There was no cake. Inmates have a hack for birthdays. They buy honey buns from the commissary, crush them up, mix them with chocolate, and make a jail cake. But Diddy, locked in the SHU, couldn't really party. He just sat there, another year older and a whole lot poorer. Secrets of the freak-offs. Then came the trial. This was the moment the world saw the evidence. The prosecution's story was simple. Diddy was a predator. They said he used his money and power to turn women into objects. They detailed the freak-offs again. We learned about the production of these events. Diddy would fly in male sex workers from all over the country. He would set up the lighting. He would set up the cameras. He directed the sex like he was directing a music video. Witnesses said the women were terrified. They said they participated because they were afraid of him, or because he had hooked them on drugs. The most heartbreaking moments came from Cassie Ventura. She was his girlfriend for over a decade. She took the stand and told a story of pure control. She said Diddy controlled what she wore. He controlled who she spoke to. He even controlled her medical records. The jury saw the video. You have probably seen it too. The hallway video from the Intercontinental Hotel. It shows Diddy wearing nothing but a towel, chasing Cassie down the hall. He grabs her by the back of the neck. He throws her to the ground. He kicks her. Seeing it on a screen is one thing. Watching Cassie cry as she explains the fear she felt in that moment was something else entirely. She said she felt trapped. She said she was just a prop in his movie. Then there was a witness known only as Jane. She dated Diddy from 2021 to 2024. Her testimony was the nail in the coffin for the transportation charges. She read text messages she sent to Diddy. "I am not a sex robot," she wrote to him. "I don't want to have sex with strangers." She told the jury about the hotel nights. She said Diddy would fly her to different cities. He paid for the flight. He paid for the hotel. But then he would demand she perform in these freak-offs. The prosecutors argued this was the crime: transportation to engage in prostitution. By paying for her travel across state lines to do sex acts, he was breaking a federal law called the Mann Act. Jane also talked about the drugs. She said Diddy gave her so many drugs, she felt like a zombie. The verdict and the tears. The jury deliberated for days. On July 2nd, 2025, they came back. The courtroom was silent. Racketeering, not guilty. Sex trafficking, not guilty. The jury wasn't convinced beyond a reasonable doubt about the force element for the trafficking charge. But then came the last count: transportation for prostitution, guilty. They found him guilty on 2 counts. They believed Jane. They believed the text. They believed that moving women across state lines for the freak-offs was a crime. Sentencing day, October 3rd, 2025. Sentencing day. Diddy's family filled the front row. His 7 children were there. They looked terrified. The prosecutors wanted blood. They asked the judge for 11 years. They said he was a monster. The defense asked for a slap on the wrist. They asked for 14 months. Then the judge allowed the children to speak. This was the emotional peak of the whole saga. His adopted son, Quincy Brown, stood up. He said, "In front of you is a changed man. We are going to love him through his struggles." His son, Justin, called his dad his superhero. He pleaded, "I ask that you give my father a second chance." His twin daughter, Delilah Starr, broke down in tears. She talked about her mom, Kim Porter, who died years ago. She said, "We cannot watch our baby sister grow up fatherless the same way we had to grow up motherless." And his daughter Chance said simply, "We are just daughters who need our father." Diddy lost it. He started sobbing. He turned to his kids and his mom and said, "I failed you as a son. I failed you as a father. Y'all deserve better." But Judge Arun Subramanian was not swayed by the tears. He looked at the evidence. He said, "A history of good works can't wash away the record in this case." He looked at the victims and said, "We heard you." He slammed his gavel. The sentence, 50 months. That is 4 years and 2 months. He also slapped Diddy with a $50,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release after he gets out. Diddy was going away until 2028. 50 Cent's victory lap. While Diddy was crying, his biggest enemy was celebrating. 50 Cent has been trolling Diddy for years. He has been hinting at these crimes before anyone else dared to speak. As soon as the news broke, 50 Cent jumped on Twitter. He posted a picture of Diddy and wrote, "Hey to whoever was booking Diddy for speaking engagement. I heard he won't be able to make it. I'm available." He was mocking the defense's claim that Diddy had work lined up. He also wrote a fake letter to the judge saying he feared for his life. He is petty, he is relentless, and he was loving every minute of Diddy's downfall. From hell to Camp Cupcake. After the sentencing, Diddy's lawyers begged the Bureau of Prisons to move him. They wanted him out of MDC Brooklyn. They couldn't take the rats and the violence anymore. They asked for FCI, Fort Dix in New Jersey. Why Fort Dix? Well, it has a reputation. They call it Camp Cupcake. It is a low-security prison located on a military base. It doesn't have bars on the cell doors. It looks more like a college dorm or a military barracks. But don't get it twisted, it is still prison. Diddy's team also wanted him there for the RDAP program. That stands for Residential Drug Abuse Program. It is intense. You have to do therapy every day for 9 months. But if you finish it, you get 1 year knocked off your sentence. Diddy's team admitted he has substance abuse issues and said he needed the help. So, in late October 2025, they loaded him into a van and drove him to New Jersey. The new reality. Diddy arrived at Fort Dix. He doesn't have a private cell anymore. He lives in a dorm. Imagine a large room with 12 to 20 bunks. He sleeps in a bunk bed. He is surrounded by other men. There is zero privacy. If he snores, everyone hears it. If he cries, everyone hears it. He uses a communal bathroom. For a man who hasn't shared a bathroom since the 80s, this is a shock to the system. And his neighbors? They aren't exactly friendly. Fort Dix has some famous residents. Joe Giudice from Real Housewives served time there. He warned Diddy it wasn't all sunshine. He said, they just like stabbed each other as they're walking. He said the violence happens fast. But the scariest neighbor Diddy has is a man named Christopher Coke. They call him Dudas. If you don't know who Dudas is, let me explain. He was the leader of the Shower Posse. This was a Jamaican drug gang so violent, they were named after the shower of bullets they would spray on their enemies. Dudas ruled the Tivoli Gardens neighborhood in Kingston like a king. He was so powerful that when the police tried to arrest him in 2010, it started a literal war. 73 people died in the battle to catch him. He is a man who allegedly used a chainsaw to kill people who stole from him. And now, he is Diddy's neighbor. He is serving a 23-year sentence. He is not getting out until 2029. Imagine Diddy, the man who dances in music videos, sleeping in the same building as a man who fought a war against the Jamaican army. That is a reality check that money cannot fix. Working for pennies. So what does Diddy do all day at Fort Dix? He works. In federal prison, you have to have a job. Diddy was assigned to the media library. This is why you saw him in that TMZ video pushing a cart of books. He organizes the DVDs. He hands out religious texts. He pushes the TV cart down the hall. And what does he get paid? 12 cents an hour, maybe up to 40 cents if he gets a raise. Think about that. Diddy used to make millions in a single deal. Now, he has to work a full 8-hour shift just to buy a bottle of water. Since he can't order Uber Eats, Diddy has to shop at the commissary. This is the prison store. You get a spending limit, usually about $360 a month. I looked up the shopping list for Fort Dix. Let's see what Diddy is buying. First, mackerel. It costs $1.10 per pouch. Why mackerel? Because in federal prison, mackerel is money. They call it the Mac. Inmates trade Macs for haircuts, shoe shines, or favors. The dollar has no value inside. The fish is the currency. Diddy is likely stocking up on fish just to pay for things he needs. Then there are the honey buns. They cost $1.40. These are essential. As I mentioned, they are the building blocks of prison birthday cakes. They are also high-sugar comfort food for stressful days. He bought that gray knit cap you saw in the video. Price, $4.55. He needs it because it gets cold in New Jersey. He bought shower shoes. Price, $12. You do not walk barefoot in a communal shower with 300 other men. That is rule number 1. He bought thermal shirts for $10.40. He bought cocoa butter for $2. Notice what is not on the list: baby oil. It is banned. You can buy lotion, but the oil is gone. He can also buy an MP3 player for about $88. But he has to buy songs individually for $1.55 each. Imagine Diddy having to pay $1.55 to listen to his own songs. The rumors. Since he got to Fort Dix, the rumors have been flying. Inmates are telling reporters that Diddy is walking around with a swagger. They say he is telling people, "I'll be home soon." There is a rumor that he thinks Donald Trump is going to pardon him. He has reportedly written letters to the White House. Trump has admitted he got the letters, but said he isn't considering it yet. But Diddy is banking on it. He is telling guys in the dorm that he will be out by 2026. But there are also rumors of trouble. A report came out that Diddy got caught with hooch, homemade alcohol found in his locker. Another report said he got in trouble for a three-way call. In prison, you can only call approved numbers. You can't call your lawyer and have them patch in your PR team. That is a violation. Because of these rumors, the Bureau of Prisons website changed his release date. It moved from May 8, 2028 to June 4, 2028. That is a 1-month delay. In prison, a month feels like a year. His team denied the alcohol rumor, saying he is sober and focused. But the date change on the website doesn't lie. He lost good time credit for something, waiting for 2028. So, what happens next? Diddy is scheduled to be released in the summer of 2028. He will be nearly 59 years old. When he walks out, the world will be different. His empire is gone. He has stepped down from all his companies. He is trying to sell his LA mansion for $61 million because he needs the cash for legal bills. The Diddy brand is toxic. Radio stations have stopped playing his music. The celebrities who used to kiss his ring are now pretending they never met him. He will be a convicted felon. He will be a registered sex offender, depending on how the state classifies the Mann Act conviction. He will be on supervised release for 5 years. That means a probation officer will watch his every move. He will have to ask permission to travel. He will have to pee in a cup for drug tests. He will have to check in. He won't be throwing white parties in the Hamptons. He will be filling out forms for a government bureaucrat. The story of Diddy behind bars is not the story of a celebrity getting special treatment. It is the story of a system that grinds everyone down, no matter how rich they used to be. The fake AI videos tried to sell us a fantasy where Diddy was still winning, where he was hugging people and smiling in the sun. But the facts, the macro, the paper clothes, the 12-cent job, the scary neighbors like Christopher Coe tell us the truth. The party is over, the lights are out, and Diddy is just another number in the system.